Hi, my name is Jessica and I have no idea what I'm doing. Today I'm going to be testing out the Colourpop All Amethyst palette. Here's the box that's upside down, and here's the palette itself. Take the plastic out so you can see. And I think this is pretty, even though it's more of like a muted, like kind of purple like palette. And what happened was, here's my story. Here's my story as usual. I've heard a lot of bad things about this palette actually, but when I was in Ulta one day, I was swatching stuff and I saw this and I started swatching it. I thought it seemed really nice. So this one's super pretty, even though it's not quite as blue as it, like blue toned as it appears to be. So I'm gonna try it out. I had gift cards from Ulta. I don't know if my haul is up yet where you can see all the things I bought, but this is one of the things that I decided to get. There's so many choices here. I guess I'll start with Feb's Gem. Oh, I guess like February's Gem. And this is like a dusty pink. This is my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it. And this is going to be my transition. I was a little nervous because it wasn't picking up on the brush too well. But as you can see, now it looks quite nice. And I have this eye primed with my Milani eyeshadow primer. And the other eye has no primer at all. Just to see what kind of comparison we get in application and wear. Also, for the record, these pans are kind of big. I'm not used to that size pan from Colourpop. I'm just going to try to pack it on some more and bring it a little higher up because I want to make sure we still see it when I put my crease shade in. And that crease shade is going to be Royal Affair, which is like a blackberry kind of shade. And I'm going to use my IBY crease brush to take some of that and put it in my crease. Just trying to blend the two together. These tones are really nice. Maybe because they're a little more cool tones, and that's generally what I prefer. So definitely on the unprimed side. The colors aren't quite as clear. I don't know if you can see that, like the purple is clear from the pink, whereas here they're kind of blending together, muddying a little bit more, if that makes sense. And if you can see it, but that's all right. I'm just testing it out. With my hooded eyes, I need a primer with 99% of, really 99.9% of eyeshadows anyway. So I wouldn't be wearing it like this. I'm going to take that same shade, ooh, nice and rich, and I'm going to put that on the outer third of my lid. I think this is going to be a good buy, at least for me. I think I'm ultimately going to be happy I did this. Could I find these colors in my collection? Probably, but it is working out well so far. I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 6 on it, same shade, just to fill this little gap here. That may not be the shadow, it may be because I did not use a brush. Just try to blend it out, shape it. We definitely lost some of the pink. Okay, now for the really exciting one. I'm going to use Amulet, and I'm going to put that on the inner 2/3 of my lid. So beautiful. Hopefully this goes on well and wears well. I don't think I quite have a shade like this. Okay, so it's not as luminous and not as blue toned on the eyes, which is unfortunate. As I blend it into the matte. It's still pretty, but not what I was hoping for, but my hopes weren't that high either, because I feel like shades like this is always what happens. They look more luminous and more blue toned in the pan, and then they come out like a little darker, a little duller, and a little more warm toned on the eyes. I mean, it's still a pretty look, but I was hoping for something a little different. Next, I'm taking my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it, going back into Feb's Gem, and I'm going to put that across the outer half of my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take Royal Affair on the same brush and just put that tighter to my lower lash line, right over where I just put the pink, but closer into my eye. Taking that same brush, I'm going to go into Amulet again, and I can't imagine this is going to go well, but I'm going to put this on the inner 2/3 of my lid, or inner half of my lower lash line here. Yeah, not really. I just wanted to see if it would pick up with a brush, but you see that's not the case. So I'm just going to go in with my finger instead. That's better. Oh, and I just put it in my eye. Just checking. I don't see any that you're not supposed to put on your eyes. Like those eye safety warning things. That doesn't mean I won't have a reaction, especially when you just like jam it right into your eye. Then taking my dollar store brush, I'm going to go into Brilliant, which looks like it might be like an iridescent lavender disguised as a white shimmer. Let's see. I'm going to put that on my brow bone. Yeah, it definitely has a little bit of lavender to it. Can you see that? Now this is very cool toned. Like I said, I wish the purple here was more cool toned. And then I'm also going to take some and put it on my inner corner. Not something I typically like to do, but since I made a little mess, let me just try to brighten that area up a little bit, blend things out, etc. Alright, so I like the look. I think it's very pretty. I think the shadows performed pretty well, except for just not exactly being the tone that I wanted with that one. Let's see how it wears, and then I'll be back to let you know and do, I think, 2 other looks with this. I originally thought only 2 in total, but I think there's more variety in here than I originally thought. One more thing. I'm going to take my Moda contour brush, and I'm going to use Brilliant as a face highlight. Let's see. It's probably nearly the equivalent, well, not quite, but a similar tone as the Makeup Obsession Moon highlighter, or maybe one of those Physicians Formula highlighters like the Mineral Glow Pearls in, I think, Iridescent. And then I'll make sure to show you natural lighting pictures so you can see better. Also, let me do swatches. Wait, I'm not going to leave yet. So we got Brilliant, High Grade, and Trigonal. Does that have to do with like the cut of the gem, maybe? Feb's Gem, Sunbird, and This or That. Yeah, that Sunbird one also looks pretty. See, same thing though, less luminous and less cool toned and darker when actually like on the skin, but it is still pretty. Yeah, that pink does not swatch well at all, and like I said, I was worried when I first started applying it, but you see that it did better. An Amethyst, Crystal Crazy, and Royal Affair. And here it is. I think that looks really pretty. And I think it matches the palette pretty well too. Like, I feel like a lot of the times, you know, shadows don't match the palette and stuff, and then it's like misleading as to what you're gonna get in the palette. I think this matches pretty well. Alright, so I am back. The beginning of this video was filmed maybe sometime in August or beginning of September. It is now October. Like I said in another video, if that video even went up yet, I got a new job back at the school that I had been subbing and aiding at. I am now the 7th grade religion teacher and the art teacher for kindergarten through 4th grade. I'm having a good time, but I've been very, very busy both at the school and when I come back home to lesson plan and grade and all that good stuff, especially when it's my first time doing so. So I'm going to finish up this video now and do 2 more looks using the shades that I have not used yet. I have the Smashbox eye primer on both eyes today. Frankly, I don't remember how well this wore. Like, I know it wore well enough on the primed side, though not perfectly. On the unprimed side, I really don't remember, but I highly doubt that it was as good as on the primed side. So I'm going to start with my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it, and I'm going to start with Trigonal. It's a muted pale lilac with some pinkish sparkles in it, and I'm going to put that as my transition shade on this eye here. It's coming out deeper than I expected. It's also very powdery. Like, not that it's a bad shade, it's just, it doesn't match what it is in the pan, you know what I mean? And then I'm just gonna blend out that top. And now that I've done that, the sparkles have basically gotten away from here and they've either fallen onto my lid or, like I said, just kind of disappeared by now. So that sucks. Then I'm going to take my IBY crease brush and I'm going into Crystal Crazy, which is like a muted grape color. It's a little bit more purple in person than it is in there, but it is still somewhat gray toned. And that is going to be my crease shade. So I like that it's cool toned. I wish it were a little more saturated, but that's okay as long as it creates some nice contrast with what I have here. Honestly though, right now, this doesn't seem all that different from when I mixed this one and this one. I mean, this one's definitely richer and warmer and darker, but this here, like, I feel like this here isn't all that different from this one when you actually have them on the eyes and when you start blending them with other shades, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use some of that again. And I'm going to put this on the outer third of my lid. It's pouring outside. That is what you hear and what you might see. This one here, you know, this palette kind of reminds me of the Kylie Cosmetics, I don't know, purple palette or something like that it was called. I never got it, but I did get a dupe palette of it, and I wasn't impressed with it, both color and formula wise, so Let's see what happens today. I'm going to use Sunbird now, which I'm hoping is as luminous as it appears in the pan. It kind of looks like it has a little bit of a flip to it. It's definitely a pale lilac, but oh, that's interesting. So I was gonna say maybe a little bit of a blue or pink flip. I would say that's probably still true, but it's a little bit deeper than I expected. So this is going on the inner 2/3 of my lid. That's really pretty, but how different is this from like I Lilac You a Lot or like the It's My Pleasure palette? I think I'm starting to understand why people weren't totally thrilled with this palette. Jessica never listens though. She's always got to try things herself. There's usually good reason though. Anyway, I'm going in with my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it, going back into Trigonal, and I'm gonna put that on the outer half to outer third of my lid. No, I lied, of my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take my smaller version of that brush from Wish and go into Crystal Crazy. And just put that on the outer third to outer half of my lower lash line, but much tighter to the lower lash line. And then I'm going to see if I can take that Sunbird shade on that brush and put it on the inner 2/3. Nope. Let me try the one with the 5 on it from BH Cosmetics. I'm going to put that on the inner 2/3 of my lower lash line. Nope. So, gonna use my finger. That's better. And yep, that is going to work. And I blend it into the other side here. That's really nice. Do I need it? Probably not. Is it super different from other things? Not really. Is it pretty though? Yeah. To finish this look off, I'm going to take my dollar store brush and I'm going to go into Brilliant. And I'm going to use that as my brow bone highlight. Ooh, that's a little bit intense. I think I just got rid of some of that lilac. Oops. Then on this side, I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush with a 3 on it and go into This or That, which is a taupe, I guess. And I'm going to put that as my transition shade. So this is interesting. This one is also deeper than it appears, or at least it can go deeper when in the crease. I'm going to try to blend it upwards. It's getting a little warm beige on the edges. Then I'm going to take This or That, same shade, hello, on my pinky, and I'm going to put that on the outer third of my lid. So I feel like this would work with Royal Affair if you wanted to deepen it up. But other than that, it's kind of a medium deep shade where, I don't know, I feel like some of these would not blend into each other nicely if you wanted to make them. Then I'm going to take High Grade, which I haven't quite figured out what color that is. It looks like a champagne. When you turn it, it goes a little bit pink. Yeah, it looks like a pink champagne kind of color. And I'm gonna, ooh, that's pretty. I'm gonna put that on the inner 2/3 of my lid and blend it into the matte. Yeah, I still kind of don't know what color to call this, but it is pretty. I'm going to use this brush from Wish again, go into This or That, and I'm going to put that tight to my lower lash line. And I'm going to put that on the inner 2/3 of my lid and blend it into the matte. Yeah, I still kind of don't know what color to call this, but it is pretty. I'm going to use this brush from Wish again, go into This or That, and I'm going to put that tight to my lower lash line. And I'm going to put that tight to my lower lash line. on the outer half of it. It's probably not going to work, but I'm going to use my BH Cosmetics brush with a 5 on it, go into high grade, and try to put that on my lower, on my lower lash line, the inner half, and blend it in. Cool. Not too bad, but I'm gonna go in with my finger and brighten that up. I feel like it's a nice, more natural smoky eye, if that makes any kind of sense for me, because I have a fair, cool skin tone. Maybe for anyone else with a cool skin tone too, like maybe even if you're not fair, that might be nice. Oh wait, I forgot one thing I wanted to do. I'm taking my Moda contour brush and I wanted to try high grade as a highlight, like a face highlight. Let's see. And I will show natural lighting pictures, as always, in whatever natural lighting I can find with it pouring outside. I can see something. I think this is gonna work. Yeah, so here's what we got. Do I like it. I think that one's gonna spread though. And I think that one might too. I promise this time I'll let you know for sure. I mean, frankly, I like it a lot, but can you say that? Can you say you like something a lot, but? I think the colors are interesting, but when you put them on your eyes, they're not as unique as you might think they are. And I just think some of them don't show up exactly like they do in the pan. And some of them I don't think would blend nicely together if you so wanted to. And there are only 9 of them. So if you had like maybe a bigger palette and you had, you know, say half of them that don't necessarily blend together, that's not a big deal. But here you only have these options if you wanted to work out of one palette. All right, that's it for today. I hope you have a good day no matter what it is you're doing. Bye. See you next time.